Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. This is a presentation entitled Pitfalls in Halal Standard. Question is, how important is real halal to you? My name is Dr. Hani Mansour Al Mazeedi, and I am from Kuwait. I represent the International Halal Awareness Program. This is the title in Arabic. Consumers have the right to know, and consumers are deliberately made not to know. Think about this statement. The scope of this presentation is this presentation focuses on halal standards with emphasis on the excuses that halal standards use in some of their clauses that definitely will allow non-halal practices and non-halal ingredients to penetrate under legal frames into Muslim market. In this presentation, I will give a little introduction, some definitions, statements from halal standards and halal fatwas, comments, solutions, conclusion, and recommendation. Halal standards are references, the law, the criteria that differentiate between what is acceptable from what is not acceptable in any halal trade. It is the contract between three parties, the service requester, the service provider, and the regulating agencies of the importing country, i.e., governmental agencies that represent the end users. Standards provide comprehensive guidelines in a form of clauses, and it links itself to related standard references as indispensable for the application of the standard. Halal standards incorporate Islamic schools of thought, that is, madhabs, and regional halal regulations, protecting Muslim consumers from non-conformity to halal standards in halal product or services. Halal standards serve as a basic requirement for halal product or service in food and non-food product, that is logistic, cosmetic, pharmaceutical, and animal feed. An important part of any halal certification body, which is the halal provider, accredited for specific halal standard, is to have the goal of demonstrating their halal competency, competency, impartiality, independence, and the unnecessary need for confirmation of the halal process with a third party. Halal fatwas and halal standard, or so-called halal, have few pitfalls in their clauses, and this is mainly found under hidden excuses. An example of the excuses that one may find in halal fatwas and halal standards are expedients, not recommended, if necessary, small amount, negligible amount, and synthetic. The main reason for these pitfalls are the lack of scientific or religious knowledge on debatable issues such as Ahlul Kitab, which are the people of the book, stunning prior or after slaughtering, mechanical slaughtering, istihala, that is the conversion of the core najis substance, alcohol, and many other more. Halal standards must be reviewed and amended to suit all madhab. Halal standards that are based on only one madhab is a weak standard and will serve in most cases non-halal practices of the industry, and few examples will be listed. Definitions. Ahlul Kitab is an Islamic term referred to the Jews, Christian, or the Unitarian Christian. Ahlul Kitab, as referred to the Quran, are the Torah. Ahlul Kitab scriptures, as referred to the Quran, are the Torah and the Gospels. The issue of Ahlul Kitab's statement related to the religion of the slaughterman in GSO 993 in 1998, clause 321, the slaughterer must be Muslim or Kitabi, that is Jewish or Christian. My comment is Ahlul Kitab is a controversial issue among Muslims. In Shafi'i madhab, according to their definition of Ahl Kitab, are only the Unitarian Christian, which are hard to find for slaughtering purposes, or the Jews to slaughter on a commercial scale for Muslim consumers. To some of the Sunnis, and based on their observation, they believe that at present Ahlul Kitab are apostate from their religion. With Shia, I believe, based on their interpretation of the Quran, they do not see that the slaughter of Ahlul Kitab is halal. Solution: due to the fact that halal standards are not fatwas, but rather regulations in a form of clauses, nothing to fear if the clause 3.2.1 in GSO 993 is changed from the slaughterer must be Muslim or Kitabi to the slaughterer must be only Muslim who perform the five regular prayer. The issue of stunning, definition of stunning, practically and commercially, stunning is a pre-slaughtering method to ensure that the animal or bird at the time of slaughter are motionless. Halal standards in favor of stunning to encompass the need of the local and international industry and to show that Muslim countries are keeping up with a breast of progress in the industries concerned. Example of pre-slaughtering method or stunning method: captive bull shot into the brain, mushroom gun shot into the head, electrical stunning using a water bath, electric shock, controlled atmospheric killing using gas mixture. Comment: what is the effect of stunning on animal bird before slaughter? Normally, if pneumatic stunner, i.e. percussive captive bolt or mushroom are used, and the stunned animal left without slaughtering, they will not go back to life. This is considered as maw'udha. It is also difficult to ensure a 100% halal control of bird with stunning because any changes in the trend or the frequency or distance of weight, etc., 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 you cannot even control it 100%. Statement in halal standard related to stunning: no implementation of halal standard, although it had been mentioned to be prohibited. For example, GSO 993 in clause 326, beating on head or similar actions such as using of bullshot pistol or non-penetrative percussive percussion or stunning by carbon dioxide is not permitted, but it is not implemented in this halal standard. How the Australian or South African cow treated before neck cut is using head beaten. And as we have said earlier, if you leave them, they will not go back to life. Where does the Malaysian standard stand on stunning? They are in full support of stunning. They have specific reference or guideline for that. Malaysian standard explain how to use to stun, how to how to you how to stun. Okay, and this is the photos is picked up from their booklet. Okay, and so on, and this is really reflect the actual halal in this what's called halal standard. Another no implementation of halal standards, back again to GSO 993 at a 327 clause: electrical stunning is not allowed in case of birth, since it was proven by experience that this led to the death of quite a few of them before slaughtering. But we know that there's no implementation of this clause. How our poultry from around the world is being treated before neck cut and exported to GCC? As I said, it has all been stunned, even in Turkey. Okay. And so, what is the use of this halal standard? It is just an ink on papers. Okay, now, other halal standard, just TAS, which is the Thailand standard, what do they say? Stunning animal before slaughtering is not recommended. If necessary, any stunning is to be made. So what? It's a conflict. It's contradictory step. You don't use it, but if necessary, oh, they all will use it. Okay. Annex: mechanical stunning. No penetrative stunner, for example, mushroom head type is allowed for you. Non-penetrative is halal. It's allowed to use. Okay. So what type of halal standard is it? Okay. Okay. Another one, mechanical stunning. Stunners shall not be penetrative or cause skull fracture to avoid penetrative permanent injury in animal. This is too difficult to control. Comment on this halal standard, all non-penetrative stunner in most cases causes skull fracture, permanent injury, complication, and ultimately death in animal within the range of 15-75%. Solution: the implementation of clause GSO 993 and TAS 8400 should read: all forms of stunning must be prohibited for use. Modern slaughterhouses must be improved to non-stun. Contradiction in halal fatwas. IIFA, which is International Islamic Fiqh Academy resolution, okay, in clause 5th C and 8. Just listen to this. Clause 5th C. Electric stunning is not allowed in case of birds, since it was proven by experience that this lead to death of quite few of them before slaughter. Clause 8. The basis of poultry slaughtering is to be performed by hand of the slaughterman, and it is okay to use mechanical machine in the poultry. My comment is, how can that be? One can not one cannot do mechanical slaughtering without stunning. How can that be? Okay, clause 8 contradict clause 5th. Why you prohibit stunning? Okay, clause 8 contradict clause 5th. And this proves the following: mechanical slaughtering by this standard is prohibited, and all studying of bird are allowed where it said in clause 5th not allowed. That is, the individual who formulated the standard are ignorant. That proves they're ignorant. They don't know much about what's going on in the slaughterhouses. Contradiction in halal standard, oik smik. Okay, the same thing. Shall be prohibited, however. Shall be prohibited, however. Okay, so we can see all of these slaughtering standards are, they copy from one another, and they just prohibit and then allowed. Okay, so in comment, never ever want any entity. If you use mechanical slaughtering or if you use stunning, it said paper labeling. My comment, never ever on any package of any poultry has a written statement that it has been mechanically slaughtered or even stunned. So why they are doing this? Who are behind this halal standard? Okay, mechanical slaughtering. Fact: the actual slaughter of chicken is performed by automatic machine and not by human action. Contradiction of religion. Conditions of religion, intellect, and tasmiyah are absent. Okay, conditions of religion, intellect, and tasmiyah are absent. Invoking tasmiyah at each slaughter point is absent. If distracted, the invoker misses many chicken. Comment: does mechanical slaughtering meet halal condition? The answer is no, it does not. Okay, this is why. Okay, if we keep going, stunning is prevailed with halal standard. The new halal standard of ESMA, which of United Arab Emirates, also permit use of stunning. Only few halal standards are serious on strict stunning, which is in Brunei, and I really cheer them up. Brunei Darussalam standard said stunning for poultry is prohibited, but is it being implemented? I hope it does. Statement from fatwa. Before we present pitfalls in fatwa, let's go on some of the definition. I will not go through this because everyone knows what alcohol is. Istihala, everyone knows what istihala is. And statement from the fatwa is said: the presence of najis materials is not allowed. However, if present in minute amount, such as enzyme, this is called a form of transformation or a case that is subjected to the theory of consumption. I mean, istihala. It contradicts itself. What follows is that the presence of najis material is allowed without paying attention to the effect of such minute amount in processing, such as najis minute amount of rennet, which convert thousands of gallons of milk into cheese. Statement from standard that allow the use of alcohol under excuses such as the Malaysian standard 22100 said alcohol, material for cosmetic and personal care that contain alcohol, excluding alcoholic drink, are permissible. What the difference? Ethanol is ethanol, whether it's khamr or synthetic. He said the only alcohol used in cosmetic is ethanol, which is also alcoholic drink. Okay, same carry on, same carry on. They all allow the use of najis material. Okay, okay. In Thailand, uh, uh, also their standards, they all allow the use of najis material. Carrier or extractor solvent, they just keep going around, but they all allow the use. Ethanol, alcohol are permissible. Madhab views on alcohol, we know alcohol, regardless of its sources, is physically najis. Alcohol is not physically najis at all, regardless of its source. These are the two views. One says it's najis, the other one says it's not najis. Alcohol is not physically najis if it is from sources other than grape or date fermentation. This is Hanafi madhab. Okay. Comment. Those madhab who believe that alcohol is not physically najis at all, regardless of its source, appear to be the most practical and appropriate view in terms of the current halal industry, under the condition that their fatwas on alcohol not physically najis stand on a solid ground. So they have to prove that alcohol is not najis, but it is more practical to use for the halal industry. Solution: to make halal standard acceptable to all madhab, it should have a clear statement that read this way: material that contain alcohol, regardless of its sources, are not permissible. Halal alternative to alcohol as a solvent is available. However, no one cared to ask. Processing it, same things. They just keep telling that it is acceptable to use najis material. Conclusion: halal standards are not fatwas. They are regulation in a form of clauses. Nothing to fear if halal clauses are changed from controversial views to a unanimous views. All forms of stunning must be prohibited for use. Modern slaughterhouses must be improved to non-stun. Real halal can only be achieved by going strict halal. Halal standard must be suit all madhab. Halal awareness is the key to solve many halal issues. Halal alternative to alcohol as a solvent are available. Alternative to halal to haram can be provided in a robust amount. Under normal circumstances, haram material are not allowed to be used for any purpose. Orders of Allah Almighty delivered to us to implement and not for maneuvering around. Recommendation: Muslim consumer should not rely totally in halal on their governmental control agencies. They must depend on themselves by questioning before buy. Okay. And to close, this is my photos in 1981 in Australia with brother Amjad Mahbub. That is about 40 years ago. And this is my photos now. I'm getting an old man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.